Okay, listen. I appreciate, all the love and all of the concern and all of that as usual. But to the particular group of people that are always like, yo, you should change your name. You should change your name. Why the I do that? First of all, I love my name. I appreciate my name. I appreciate my lineage. I appreciate where my name comes from. And it's also my son's name. So I just, in my heart, feel like that would give off such an incredibly wrong message, an example for my son when it comes to loving his name and what his legacy could be if I change my name just because of what my father did. I will always be Brain McKnight Jr. no matter what, and you're going to get this work from all of us from here on out. Welcome to my TED Talk.
They say that knowledge is power, but we say only if you know where to get it. We are the Council, and welcome to the Gossup, where we bring the whispers, the facts, and the stories that matter. Stay locked in. Well. What's up, ladies?
What's up?
Evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
What's up, everybody? Look.
Hey.
We got some hot stuff to discuss on this evening.
Yeah. Ooh, I
We
can't
are
wait.
the Council. Welcome to the Gossup. We definitely ain't gonna hold y'all up. I want to get into it, but first, I ain't seen y'all all week. What's going on?
Haven't seen or heard from you.
That's right. What's been going on with y'all?
Stress. Stress.
What you been stressing out
Oh
about?
my God. What? Yeah. I mean, I guess it could be good stress at the same time. It's work, business, busy.
Yeah.
A tad overwhelmed, needing to be cloned 8 different times in 8 different ways. Probably need a man and a massage.
Oh my goodness.
And a man to do
Did
the
y'all
massage.
hear that?
Ooh.
Okay, well, yes.
We gonna put her on the crushing segment. That's right.
She be crushing.
She be crushing. What's going on, Tam?
Ooh, stress. I'm with her on that.
Oh
this
my God.
week has been
Y'all ain't gonna be stressing me out
a
tonight.
long, stressful week. It seemed like it's not enough hours. 24 hours is not enough time
That's
for
true.
8A right now. And I think I need like 48 or 72 in one day to try to help me to catch up on things that I need to do. Like going appointments. I mean, yeah, it's been crazy. Yesterday I was so tired. My brain capacity was like at 0.0000. Okay, negative.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
it was at a negative. I was so tired. I couldn't do nothing. I just had to go home, take a shower, and go to sleep.
Shut down today. Like, it was like...
Y'all riding on fumes then.
Yeah, no sleep, everything. It's you don't want to complain about it because you pray for success, you pray for business, but there's also balance, and I do work really hard to balance out my life. But I haven't been on a trip in a little while. I've been really busy. And I think that's just where it is. And I think once I'm in crunch time, we have an event coming up, a rather large event. So that's what it is for me. And I'm a perfectionist, so I want everything to be perfect. And
Understandable.
it's been layers of stress, but that's gonna come to an end really soon. And I'm finding balance. I gotta find the balance.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, since you
How
said
are
a little
you?
bit about, well, I'm not done yet.
Oh, oops.
I wasn't even done asking her. Everybody would love to know what it is that you do, since you kind of mentioned a big event. So
Yeah, well,
you want to share?
I can. I won't share the event, but
Okay.
I am a serial entrepreneur. So I'm an event producer. I am the event or creative director of Excellent Occasions.
Okay.
And Thrive Hospitality Groups. I have a couple of companies that keep me really, really busy.
I know
Besides
it
all
do.
the other things. But
Girl.
but do keep me really busy. We do a little bit of everything, but we do a high level events all over the country. And yeah, amazing. Very immersive experience.
Okay.
Very fancy. I have really great clients with really great budgets.
Wow.
And it allows me to be really creative and do really immersive events. And so that's what we do, a lot of high level immersive events.
So if y'all need anybody to do any kind of event,
High level.
For you.
I love, yes.
Not any of this. It's
Not
like,
just any.
oh well, shoot,
You can't come.
All right,
with
well,
caviar dreams on a hot dog budget.
Just you know what?
It's not gonna work.
All y'all need to do is just comment below, and we'll try to work it out to see what we can do with all this high level over
that's
here.
right, because Jesus will work it out.
That's right. If you let
If
him.
you let him.
That's the word for the day.
Work it out.
All right. How you gonna pay that rent? With all that money spent. Okay, well, anyway, let's get back to it. I want to talk about celebrity marriages. And, you know, we do the couples news, and we've been riding the wave for the last 2 episodes on the celebrity weddings. And I just want to keep that going for right now because we really rarely celebrate the individuals that we are talking about. So, guess who the celebrity couple is in relationship news for this week?
What?
Who is it? Who is it?
Who it be?
It is Morris Chestnut
Morris.
and his wife Pam.
Okay.
Pam is lucky. Bingo.
That is such a
Ooh,
beautiful picture. Do you know that they have been married for, if not 30, a little over 30 years?
What?
Yes. They've been married for a very long time. She pretty much, you know, I was trying to do some research on her, but she pretty much keeps a low key. And he says that she, you know, she stays out of the limelight by choice. And, you know, he's out there doing different movies and all the ladies just drooling over him. But she's very confident in who she is.
There you go.
And you know, I haven't heard any big, and we ain't trying to either, hear
That's
any
right.
big gossip or gossip with the IP news about Morris Chestnut. And I hope that we don't, because it's really, really good. I know people have their ups and downs, and we don't know what people's relationships is about. But for me, it's about, for me, when I think of that, you know, relationships that have lasted for years, I think of the commitment they have toward one another. And so that was one of the questions that was asked to Morris on how they keep the marriage together. What's the secret sauce? And he says there's really no secret sauce. They just really respect one another and have a high level of respect for one another.
That's good. I wouldn't have known that he was married or married that long. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is. It
Very
is.
interesting to hear.
Love it. So I say that's one of my favorite actors. I love him.
He's really good. He's a very good actor. He's very versatile in the roles that he has been picking. He even now is on a show on CBS, and
He's a doctor.
yeah. And so I think that he have rode
Range.
the wave, and he was able to transcend the different seasons of acting, because he's still around, doing movies, and you know, he's on other shows. He was just on another show, I believe it was on Peacock. Well, look, don't get me to saying what platform it was on, but he was on a show. It was about a lady that was a lawyer, and she got kidnapped by a guy who she defended years ago. He was young, and she told him to take a plea or something like that. He took it and ended up in prison for a long time. So it's a pretty good show. I can't remember the name of the show, but some of y'all out there might know, and please let us know what the show is so that we can come back on the next episode and even say what that show was, because it was a really good show. And he starred in the second season of the show as a lawyer himself.
Wow.
So yeah, it was really, really good. So I just would like to say hats off to Morris Chestnut and to Pam, because even though she chose to be, a housewife, and that's a big job.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what does she do?
Yes, she chose to be a housewife and to lay back and take care of their kids and just support him in his dream, and it's really, really working. So hats off to you, really Pam. Good. Hats off to Morris Chestnut. We look forward to seeing you in more movies.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Look forward to it.
We really, really do.
Because I'm not the biggest TV person, so it's like I'm very picky about who I watch and what I watch. So it has to be something or someone that's going to actually keep my attention. Because I'm quick. I'll be like watching a movie, and then 2 seconds later, oh, okay, I'm done. Yeah. That didn't do it for me.
It's ADHD.
Yeah. I know some people like that. But yeah,
right.
That happens. Well, I want to get down to the nit and the grit of things. The reason why we're here. I want to ask the question of the evening to the ladies and to you guys. All right. So the question of the evening is it ever justifiable to cease communication with your children for years at a time? Don't answer.
Okay.
Not quite yet, because, well, I want y'all to answer first. Because we're doing it a little bit different this evening.
I could think of reasons.
So
why.
if you had children, and there was something about y'all relationship that did not settle right for you, and even for them as a parent, is it justifiable to just say, look, I'm cutting you guys off, and if I talk to you again, I talk to you. If I don't, have a nice life. Is that justifiable?
I think it's according to the situation. I mean, I can see where there's been times where people have done that for very justifiable reasons. So yes, I mean, I think it's according to the situation. You would hope they can come back and be whole again, but if it's super traumatic and remains super traumatic of a relationship, it doesn't do either one of you good to be in each other's lives. Sometimes just because they're a parent doesn't mean, or even your child that you birth, that means that you gotta be in each other's lives forever. I mean, it's a harsh thing to say, but it's according to what it is. If that child was physically abusive to you as the parent, should you stay around? That's just like you wouldn't be in an abusive relationship. That's still a relationship. It's just not with your domestic partner. I think it's, so if a child was abusive, vice versa, if a parent was abusive to a child, they have a right to cut them off, so that they can be healed and whole, and then maybe come back to the relationship later. So I think it's really, there could be things that would justify why parents and children part from each other.
So Charlisa
Yes.
says yes. Tam?
Okay. I mean, in that aspect of it, I would say, okay, if the child was being abused or vice versa, I can understand it. Because I have a person that I had an encounter with was talking about when they was younger that they're, I guess more of the dad used to like beat them, and stuff. And so she was living in another country and she moved here. And, she still like suffers from that trauma. But, what I'm saying? She talked to the parents and blah, 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 all of that kind of stuff now. But it's just still like, a disconnect there, in that aspect, I can understand that. But I'm more of like, hey, what's wrong? We're both adults. Or maybe if we're not, that let's talk through this, because I don't feel like family should be like we're not talking. Oh, when the last time you talked to your son or daughter? Oh, it's been 30 years. Oh, do you know what I have no idea what they're doing or where they at, kind of thing. I just don't sit well with me. For me, if I was a parent, that wouldn't sit well with me. So we'll have to try to figure out something. If it's not, like I said, if it's not something concerning abuse or something like that, something where it's something mentally or whatever gonna, separate us or something, then maybe. But other than that, no. Let's see. No, we don't have to. Yeah.
So Charlisa says yes, and Tammy says no. Well, now we can discuss the issue. And we want to hear from you guys. So we are talking about Mr. R&B Brain McKnight. Yep.
Brian.
So I'm just going to just quickly give a little synopsis of the situation. So Brain McKnight has children. He has 2 children by his ex-wife, Julie, and then he also had some other kids as well. Now, one of his children, girl, he has 2 daughters, and allegedly he has 2 daughters. The oldest, Brianna, she took to her Instagram and she just expressed her feelings of not feeling like ever like a daddy's little girl, or feeling like her dad was ever there really for her, and all she really had was her brothers, which was by the ex-wife. And she did express some other things that she had some concerns for. Now Brian went onto the internet and he began to express he responded to Brianna, and his response was that he has reached out to her and he's always been there for those kids, and he even tried to reach out to her when he heard that there had been some inappropriate things going on in the family with her and another person in their family, which was very inappropriate for him to say that, and Brianna sued him for defamation. So they settled the defamation lawsuit, and Brian Jr. then took to the internet and expressed support for the sister, because years ago Brian, I believe he married another, Leilani is her name. She is a doctor, and he ended up marrying someone who had previous kids. In that relationship, he somehow, I'm not I don't have all the detail on why it was a breakup amongst the older kids and his new family, but something happened to split Brian from his kids. So I know I gave a lot of information, but I do want to just go back and just give a little bit about Brian and a history about Brian and Julie. So Brian and Julie met his first wife. They met in college. So they were really, really good. They knew each other's families because they were young, and they were married for 13 years. They had 2 kids, one Brian Jr. and Nico. Nico, who actually is battling or is recovering from prostate cancer. They didn't think that he himself didn't think that he was gonna make it. He's 32 now, I believe. So, and even during the prostate cancer treatments, Dad wasn't around, had nothing to say to them. He just completely cut them off. So, while he was married to Julie, it was alleged by Julie that he cheated on her all throughout while they were married. He also, one time, she reported that she came home from a summer vacation that she would take the kids back home to her hometown. She came home to find that he had put her out and had her apartment, and she had to move out of the house that they had currently shared.
Wow.
Also, Julie had embraced the kids that Brian has had by other women, and she's taken those kids in to be family because she wanted those kids to grow up together. It had nothing to do with the kids. It was Brian who was out there, sharing his seed to every woman that he wanted to. I mean, that's allegedly, so I can't say I wasn't there. But so what you're about to hear is, so Brian gets married to a doctor, a new lady, and she has kids, and he takes those kids on to be his kids. He celebrates those kids. He's on the great internet, on his Instagram pages and everything, just cheering them on, buying them brand new BMWs, taking them on luxury trips, and he's talking about them as if they are the only kids that he has had. Now, the clip that you saw earlier before the show was Brian Jr. saying, I am not going to change my name because my dad has chosen to change his name to his newborn baby, who he recently had, and he's probably like a year old. So he chose to change his name to the newborn baby and tell the world that the newborn baby is his sole heir. Just listen. Oh, I'm sorry. One last thing. What you're about to hear is an interview that Brian gave about in 2019 or so with a influencer that interviewed him about his music. Take a listen to what he says.
What is the song that really still speaks to you after all of these albums you've worked on?
Well, the ones that do, the only ones that speak to me are the ones that I've written since Leilani came into my life, because those are the only ones that have a meaning.
Wow.
Sure, there were big hits before then, but they weren't based on anything, because I never even liked anyone before I met her.
Oh, wow.
The first time I felt my heartbeat was the day that she came into my life. So everything that I wrote before then wasn't based on anything romantic. It was just, it was arithmetic. I have this many notes and this many syllables, and that's what I have to work with. But these 3 albums that I've done since we met, every single song it has a meaning. It has a story. It has something that's near and dear to my heart.
So, what's y'all's thoughts on that? What's the take on it?
I think he's delusional. And he's jaded. And he's insecure. He's operating out of areas of insecurity for whatever he lacked in the first relationship. And he's lying to himself and to the world. Ain't nobody crazy now. Come on. One, all those beautiful songs all meant something. They don't mean nothing to him now because those songs were originally written, as he said back then, for his wife, and different areas of their relationship, to his daughter, different things that he wrote for his family and to his wife back then. So he was feeling it then. And probably why his music isn't as great now, because it's a lie. I mean, you're delusional. So, and the truth is, you can have loved 2 people at different points of life and have a maybe more intense, different love for this woman, but to act like they never existed and that never was real, and nothing that you did prior to this woman meant anything. I think he's lying to himself, and I think he's doing that to hurt, and maybe he thinks it's a flex in front of his family, his other real family, to do and say those things. He thinks it's very hurtful, and I'm sure it's hurtful for his family, for his kids, to a degree.
For sure. The kids, also, before your comment, Tammy, the kids also have expressed their feeling for the comment that their dad has said. Their dad also has posted on his IG page he has a lot of married pictures on there with his kids. And then he has this, when the son was born, he has this letter that he written out to the son and saying how he's never felt the way that he's ever felt about anybody coming into the life, about any child coming into this world like he has for this new son, and how this son, you are my true heir. You are the one and the only. I can't allegedly, because I added maybe the one and the only, but he has really given praise. And then he said, because he feels so, I guess, amazed by this new baby being born, he decided to change his name to the new baby's name, because he added some middle names in there that wasn't in his original name that he named his firstborn.
He's delusional.
And so now he has changed the name of the adult him, changed his name to the baby's name, and said that he is the one that is going to inherit all of his riches that he leaves on this earth. Tammy?
All right. I'm going to have to credit what I'm about. Well, these next 4 words that's going to come out of my mouth. I'm going to have to credit it to my co-worker, Salisbury. Nigga. Well, there was more than 4, because I had to repeat that a few times. Now, first off, you just think about that, him saying that woman then whooped him so his mind is just gone. She didn't throw all kind of stuff on him. She didn't really put that moo-moo on him. He shouldn't put that moo-moo on him so hard. He don't even know his name. He trying to change his name to something else. Hats off to an old girl. I'm gonna have to.
Say,
I'm gonna take my hat off to. I'm gonna take my hat off to Doc. Doc done put something in his drink, and Doc got him just stupid, just plain stupid. You know, I ain't no other word. I ain't know how to put that. How you go, like, you know, you go air everything to your youngest son. Nobody else can get anything or whatever. They still, you still donated your sperm to get those other ones. So how you go just say, oh, it's just like you said, oh, nobody else mean anything to me. This is the only person that means something to me. That's what I said.
Until he don't.
I know. I guess she gonna have to snap her fingers and he go pop out of it, because right now he's in the zone and it's not auto zone. Okay.
He's gonna come out of it just as quickly as he turned on his own children. He'll turn on this child and this woman as well at some point. He's going through some type of midlife crisis, identity crisis. On so many levels. It might even be some type of mental health crisis. But it's sad no matter what, because at the end of the day, at some point, he don't know. He might need, thank God for the new baby, in case you needed a kidney or something that only could come from one of your children. Thank God if that baby wants to give it to you. You know,
what if that baby one don't match or something? You know what I'm saying?
What
you
if it's not really his?
One, and you have that one that matches, and it's the one that you like no longer claim. You know, and they be like, I'm not yours, so I can't give you my kidney. You know what I'm saying? And now it's a aha moment, you know? Now it's no longer funny or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Now this is your child. Now, oh no, you're my child.
But what's revealing is it shows that he's manipulative. It shows, you know, the type of man he's been throughout the years in that marriage, the first marriage. You know, all the cheating and, you know, he's done throughout the years. And I've always loved Brain McKnight's music. Like,
Right, me too.
oh my God, don't let me get going. I have always loved Brain McKnight. And he's a very handsome man. But, you know, also, we don't know him as a person. The wife knew him. The children knew him. The man has some derangement. And it's showing today. It's showing, and that's going to show up in this marriage as well, because who you know, where you go, there you are. So it doesn't matter what relationship he moves into or what children comes next. He's going to show up in their lives the same way he's presented in everyone else's life.
Because he's still in that puppy love stage right now. You know, it's that puppy love. Soon as
And
that
got
love
something to
getting,
prove.
Right. Soon as that love start getting a little old, and then the true him go come out, because you can only be someone. I mean, you can only be someone else for a certain amount of time, and then his true self is gonna eventually come out. Just give it a little time, and that true him is gonna him or whatever it's gonna come out.
And then you're going to take these other kids in, you know, and do them better than your own children.
Well, he has said that he has taken care of his children, and they've also admitted that he has taken care of them. He's bought them new cars. He's also purchased he had an apartment for them and paid, you know, a year's
Financially,
worth of
he's taking care of them.
he's been there financially, but
Emotionally, mentally.
Right.
What about that?
There's so many
And that-
other levels to taking care of a family.
Agreed. And that is what they are talking about. So it's not so much, he believes that everybody, well, allegedly, his son, Nico, the youngest, has stated that he believes that his dad thinks that people are out to get him, that they want his money, like his children. And he himself, Brian, has said that he has purchased cars for his kids, the previous ones, and he's also paid for apartment, you know, for them, and that those kids were created out of sin.
Yeah,
They
I've
weren't
seen that.
out of love and commitment.
That's what I'm saying. Deranged.
So there's a lot of people that have took to the great old internet and has responded and have said some things. There's a young lady by the name of Jaguar Wright, and she is a internet influencer. She's known for back in the 90s being in the group with the Roots. She's did backup for Jay-Z. She was on Piers Morgan's show and had him apologizing to Jay-Z and Beyonce because she was on there when they were discussing P. Diddy and his case and abuse and women and all of this stuff. And she had some comments and some things to say on that. So she went on a platform and discussed the Brain McKnight situation. And she took to it with some song, you know, that he sings that back at one, you know.
Like a dream come true.
Yeah. Okay, we're not going to sing the song, guys. But
That's right. We not because I done lost respect.
well, she has her own rendition of that song. You know, you'd have to go on there and check it out because she has her own things that she want to say to him about that. But also you have Ricky Smiley. He also, you know, said some things to the children and let them know how sad he was that has happened to them and that they can always come to his hometown. And there's a lot of men that would, you know, surround them. And then good old Tyrese responded from Ricky Smiley. And he sided with Brian, saying you don't know, you wasn't never there when
to say?
Things was going on. And Tyrese, as we all know, have his own issues, you know. And I like, you know, Tyrese,
going from
but
deranged to deranged.
yeah, it's just been just
Birds
crazy.
of a
So
feather.
because Jaguar Wright has millions of followers, Brain McKnight decided to sue her.
To engage.
So in about 2 weeks ago, he filed a lawsuit against Jaguar for defamation. He said that she blatantly slandered his name, and he's suing her for $75,000, which isn't a lot of money, but so and then she didn't hold up when she found out and read and I guess received the lawsuit.
Good for her.
She went back at him and let him know she is not afraid. And it was just
she kind of certified herself.
Yes,
so
yes.
Like,
so I was just like, oh my goodness. But a lot of people have been discussing this whole situation because not only are the kids estranged from their father, but one has cancer. There's some other kids that aren't in the, you know, internet space that, you know, we need to be really careful of because it's a 12-year-old daughter that he has allegedly. And and so he has separated himself from everybody. Lastly, I want to play this last little recording that Brian has said because everybody is coming at him. There's a lot of people even coming at the kids. Now, Nico said that they've been getting hate
his fan club.
responses from people. And Nico and Brian Jr. had an interview with their uncle, their mom's brother, and they did like a podcast interview, and they kind of shared their thoughts on what actually happened. They were saying they wasn't even gonna come out and say anything because they was hoping that there could be some reconciliation with their dad. That interview, they were so honest. Nico said, you know what? I was spoiled. I did get everything that I ever wanted from my dad. And I don't want the money. It's not even about money, you know. But what Brian has chosen to believe that it is about money because he lost, well, he didn't lose the lawsuit. They settled out of court, and Brianna did receive a settlement due to the negligence of what Brian stated. But let's take a look at this last clip of Mr. Good old Brain McKnight.
I never abandoned anyone. Our estrangement was mutual, but those posts made any roads towards reconciliation and acknowledging them a dead issue. And I changed my will the next day. I've spent the last 30 plus years building a recognized, respectable name, and ironically, there are still people out there who are trying to smear my name while still carrying it, hoping to use it for their own benefit. I make absolutely no apologies for naming my infant son Brian. I want him and the world to know that he is the one who is my true legacy. So I'll be over here, continuing to love and protect my wife and our children as we continue to love our life.
He's so smug. That was just so smug and nasty with it. And I mean, karma is karma. And it's sad because at the end of the day, again, this is going to repeat itself in the new marriage. At some point, it's going to repeat itself in the new marriage.
In due time.
Mm-hmm. It will. It will. It's just so smug. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's sad and it's crazy. And, also, when you have a lot of money, people do feel entitled to so many things, but that's what you built. That's how you set it up as well. Mm-hmm. You gave the lifestyle. You wanted them to have the lifestyle. They were used to the lifestyle.
Yeah.
You're doing the same thing with the new family.
Exactly.
Regardless of what, you're building the same lifestyle for everyone. So you built that entitlement and that expectation. Just like you have an entitlement of how they should treat you because you were providing money to them. But they were trying to tell you, we need more than just your money at the end of the day. And that's what he can't comprehend because that's who he, that's all he's ever, what he's been. Besides his voice, his looks, it's the money he's been able to accumulate over time.
Well, not anymore because the ladies have been outraged
I
by
know he doesn't have the same
what
support.
Brian is saying.
Yeah.
There has been
It's
canceled
nasty.
Concerts.
See?
The ticket sales have plummeted.
It's karma.
And that is
Yes.
part of why he's saying, and then to add to what Jaguar was saying, he's saying, from Jaguar to all of this other stuff that's going on, he wants to put a stop to it. So he want to try to go and dig into her pocket so that he can get them ticket sales back, because he thinks by him going on the internet, battling back and forth with his kids in the public eye, when that should be something that they should do in private.
Right.
Because now, you're at a point where there's kids that are hurting, there's the public opinion, and nobody really knows because nobody really was there, and then you have a new set of sibling that probably will never meet the old set of siblings. So there is a lot of tearing and ripping in the family relationship that needs to be mended. And my hope and prayer is that it can be. And I just want to say to you, Brian, just I'm gonna give you some little 3 little steps. Just one, just breathe. Just get silent, get away from everybody, all of the noise from everybody. And then self-reflect on why this is actually happening. And if you can self-reflect, then the third thing is to really be honest with yourself. To say, not project, but introspect and look into yourself and say, why is this actually happening? Because I know that you have love for those kids. I know you do. That is your seed as well. And so I just want to say to you, I hope that you can find some time to kind of like reflect, breathe, calm down. You don't have to be on the internet fighting with family. And so that's one thing that I just want to say to you. I really did, like your music and stuff. I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater because, it's just...
Well, it got dookie in it.
I mean, I just want to say too, there's no perfect person. And in the industry, people need to stop trying to put these artists up like they're not
humans.
common people like every day as you are. We all deal with the same issues and struggle in family situations. You know what I mean? And so we have people that are out here fighting Brian's kids. We have people that are out here canceling ticket sales because they truly believe what's really going on, and we all haven't even been in the center of it, but you can't deny the stuff that you're hearing from the horse's mouth. So I just wanted to say, I know we took some time out to really kind of dig and deep dive into this, but I really thought that we should, because it's really sad. But let's go on a lighter note. My goodness.
Like Sherry about to do a prayer service.
Oh my goodness. Let's just
take a drink.
On the lighter note, it's game time, y'all.
Yes, eat it.
Game time. All right, ladies, are y'all ready?
I'm ready,
Okay,
ready.
Let's play our favorite game.
Yeah.
Love Bomb Bust or Sugar Crush. And we don't want to talk about Brain McKnight no more right now,
Because he gets
the Love Bomb Bust.
He is a love
No,
bust.
you know what?
That's the epitome of a love bomb bust.
Yeah, I know. I reserve. I always like to stay in the middle,
It's all right to get on the train. Come on, ride this train.
All right, what you got for us, Sherry?
We are getting ready to do a continuation of last week's They Say.
Oh, they say, he say,
So-
she say, we say.
Exactly. So a part of this game, Sugar Crush or Love Bomb Buzz, I will ask the council some questions, and then you will ask you the questions as well. And they will give their answer, whether it's a love bomb, which you guys know this is a manipulative person that can't be trusted, or if it's a sugar crush, somebody that has had this sweetness for you, and somebody that even you're dating and he's just treating you so well and just loving you
The
up.
king that you are.
That's right. Just like our couple of this segment. I didn't want to go back to the old stuff that we just talked about. All right, question number 1. They say, is this a sugar crush or is it a love bomb bust is if they say, what has changed between me and you? You are acting real different. Is that something that a sugar crush would say or a love bomber would say? Now that is a difficult one, and it isn't all in context, but have anybody ever said that?
Right?
Okay. All right, the council has spoken. They said it's half of a sugar crush and half of a love bomb buzz. Question number 2. No, it's a tie. Question number 2. They say, without assuming blame, be honest with me. When we argued, was it my fault? Is that a sugar crush statement or a love bomb buzz statement?
I mean, it could be either one because it's not really giving the context of it. But I would say maybe it's the person who really is crushing. They just want to make sure they didn't do something to that person.
All right, the council has spoken. That's right. Somebody that really is concerned about your relationship and really want to be in relationship with you, they're always going to do that check-in.
That's right.
And they're not going to blame you, and point the finger right away. I mean, because sometimes, y'all need to be checked now. Y'all women here.
That's right. That's right. That's
I'm
right.
talking about them, y'all. I'm talking about them.
That's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
All right, last one. Is this a sugar crush or a love bomb bust on They Say? I have spent X amount of dollars on you ever since we've been together. You trying to break the bank. Is that a sugar crush or a love bomb bust? I would like to ask men that question, because these ladies, they greedy.
Yeah.
So I would just love to ask a panel of men, is that a sugar crush or a love bomb? Okay, y'all say that's a love bomb? Why? Why?
Yes. I mean, you go spend all of this money, now you go throw it in my face, you just spend X amount of dollars or whatever. Well, if you gonna have a problem with spending X amount of dollars, spend no dollars. How about that? You know what I'm saying? It's probably something that she's not asking him to do, and he's probably just doing it, supposedly call himself being a man, but evidently he's not a man. He's still acting like a little boy because you got to throw it in my face about what you doing. What you doing for me.
Goodness.
You know what I'm saying? Because in return, I may be doing stuff for you too. So it's like I could probably bring up, I'm spending X amount of dollars as well.
Point well taken.
Find too much, go
Tell
find
him to
less.
put on his big boy drawers. He still got on his little boy drawers. Put on your big boy drawers.
Complaining.
No.
Charlisa, I'm scared of Tammy.
Oh, well.
He got on his tighty whities.
Thoughts?
No, I mean, I said, if I'm too much, go find less. Feel like you spending too much on me, then don't. As Tammy said, don't. And then, move on.
Now, what if that person is trying to save up on a ring or save up on a home for future stuff or
I think
trips
they
or
should just
something?
pull back on their own without telling me. You don't have to verbalize that.
Exactly.
To me. I think there's a way for you. I think there's a better way to communicate it.
It could be communicated better. In that case.
Yeah, just
because
a different way.
The way he's saying it's like he dang.
It's baby. I have some things going on. I kind of want to pull back in this area right now.
Right.
But you're blaming her for something.
Right.
Well, maybe
For
he's
your
just a
money
little
being
bit
gone.
upset because have you ever been around someone or have relatives, kids or whatever that every time they come around, they always want something.
Then he needs to communicate. It was a way for you to communicate that as well.
True story.
And stop trying to buy people's love and affection.
Oh. All right.
Bingo! Jackpot!
Well. What I get from the council is communication is key. So if there is some issues that arise, then let's sit down at the table and discuss.
That's right.
Is that it?
That's it. Let's put it all on the table. Put it all on the table.
And don't be buying like crazy, then all of a sudden dry up without, you know.
Ask you to start returning some of those gifts that you
Because you didn't do something.
Yeah.
Manipulating with your money.
Oh my goodness. Well, if you guys are crushing, we are too. Listen to this.
Calling all lovers in disguise. Do you have a secret crush? Have you been holding on to that juicy little secret that you're dying to spill? Whether it's your best friend, coworker, or someone totally unexpected, if you're bold enough to dare to be different, we want your story. Come reveal your crush on the Gossup podcast. Let the world hear your heart, and who knows, maybe love will find you on air. Slide into our DMs or email us at info@thegossup.com.
Well, this was a show and a half. It took some time for us to, for me to kind of explain and, kind of the breakdowns, because it was so much
It was.
that went along with this whole Brain McKnight situation.
He's a bit much. That's why.
Just
a bit much.
pathetic. That's all I have to say. Pathetic.
Well, we would like to hear from you guys. We really want to hear from you guys, even if it's 2 months later. Drop that comment down there, because we want to hear what you have to say. As always, stay up with the gossip. And that's it for today's episode of The Gossup. If today's conversations got you thinking, drop a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn those notifications on so that you won't miss an episode. Until next time, stay up with The Gossup.